So we're going to learn a wealth of information from her on how to reduce the carbs. You still need to have a balance of your carbs, and that's really important to me, unless you're extreme diabetic like her husband is, and then you really have to watch, and she's going to teach us how to do that. Good morning. We have our turkey from our homestead, and Jim is going to open it up.
It's been a while. How long have we been thawing this?
Since Sunday.
And today is Wednesday.
And it's wrapped in some of our dish towels. It's still got ice on it, so it's nice. Look at that beauty. That's gorgeous. I'm so excited. So today we're going to do what's called dry brining. Let me do a little apology to begin with. I'm traveling, as I have been for 2 months. So I have an aluminum pan. I understand the dangers of aluminum pan. I'm cooking it in a bag, a turkey bag. And someday I'm going to get a stainless steel cooker. So this is dry brining, and dry brining I learned about on the Healthy Home Economist. She works with the Weston Price Company, and instead of sitting it in a big bowl and putting it in the fridge or a big pot, then we dry brine it. And what we're dry brining it with is, and I couldn't find anything besides Morton, is Morton sea salt, and it's coarse. And then this is an organic, it's called Herbe de Providence, and it's full of basil, thyme, fennel, oregano, and it even has lavender in it and rosemary. And for every 5 pounds, I use a tablespoon of salt and a half a tablespoon of the herbs. And so I have, this is a 24-pound turkey, so I have 5 tablespoons of salt and a little over 2.5, almost 3 tablespoons of the herb. And I've put it all together, and we're going to cover it. You especially want to cover it with on the meaty part, so the breast and your drumsticks, and then in 12 hours we put another little rub on. So I do this now, and we do it tonight, and then we get it out in the morning. And what this does is it draws the moisture out. You're like, oh no, draws the moisture out, that doesn't make sense. And then it changes the structure, and it draws the moisture in as it's cooking, and it cuts down the cooking time, and it makes it very tender. So this is what she says. We've always done wet brining, and we've been very satisfied.
I've been happy with that. Yeah.
So this is what we're doing. So here we go. You can bring it closer if you want to.
What you're hearing in the background is some of the gathering of the family members who are from out of town and around. That will be happening today, and then a lot more tomorrow. So it's kind of cool. Get everybody together.
So I'm going to lift it up. Put some back here. Oh, rub it down. Okay. So now I'm going to stick this baby in here.
Do you need my help on that?
You know, I might.
Okay, let me get this set up so that we can see what we're doing.
If you can just hold the bag, because I've got the gloves on.
Okay.
Just kind of position it. Good deal.
Okay, unique.
Yep.
Oh, very good. Very good.
And then I'm just going to take the last of it and rub it all over here. And then I'm going to seal it shut and put it back in the refrigerator. Yeah, I've got to twist it. I'll do all that. I'm going to take my gloves off and do that. But this is the first step of the turkey dinner. So I get to introduce my wonderful sister. This is Gina. Hi. And we're in her home with our wonderful fire. It's the day before Thanksgiving.
And it's going to be busy.
And so we're going over our menu. The reason we're going over our menu is because she and her husband have lost tremendous amounts of weight and have changed
Started
their
to get
blood
them.
sugars and everything by the way that they eat. And so they've taken the same thing and put it into the Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, so we told our family we love traditions, but it's time for new traditions. And so we don't want them to feel deprived, but we're going to have a lot healthier food.
And there are a few traditional things coming, which not all of us have to participate in.
So we have the naughty list with the nice list, but the nice list is way long.
On the naughty list is the yams with the marshmallows. Naughty list. So we're starting out with the turkey, which you just saw us put together. And that's from our homestead, and it is a pasture-raised turkey.
Which we're excited to taste. All right, we're going to make a homemade gravy, and we looked up and decided that we'll use arrowroot flour or arrowroot to thicken it because it's got protein and it's really low carb and it's really good for you. So it's always nice to use something that's actually good for you.
Yes. And then for the stuffing that we're making a stuffing that has sausage and pecans and apples, cranberries and mushrooms and bell peppers.
The kids will probably go,
all kinds
we're
of
gonna go yum."
seasoning. And it doesn't have any bread in it, so it's not
So it's low carb,
except
except for the fruits, and if you have the natural fruits, then that's the only
Right.
kind of carbs we try.
So that's what we're using, and then there is going to be a whole wheat. We're going to go to Great Harvest. Whoops.
Children.
We're going to go to Great Harvest and get a whole wheat bread, and then I'm going to cut it up and make croutons, season them, and make one that we'll stuff the turkey
Just
with.
celery and onions
Yeah,
and
with
stuff.
celery and onions. So.
And we're making a homemade broth today to
Yes, we
have
are.
for that.
She got up this morning and took a bunch of chicken and made a broth for that because I didn't bring my turkey broth. What else?
We are doing the mashed cauliflower. I'm doing the garlic butter cauliflower, and it's so good. I make riced cauliflower all the time, and so with this,
I had it last night for the first time.
yeah, so good. So our family loves it. Our grandkids don't know it's not rice, so don't tell them. And we are making it into the creamy mashed version for Thanksgiving, and I'm looking forward to it. We love it. We're gonna have a tiny bit of regular, good, healthy mashed potatoes on the side for those that have to have the potato.
Yes.
But
And then tell them about your cloud bread because I don't know anything about it.
okay, so my husband really reacts to any kind of grain carb right now. We're still trying to troubleshoot that so we can introduce grains. We've introduced we'll have quinoa for supper, but it'll be like maybe a fourth of a cup for a couple servings, so it's like hidden in there, or his blood sugar still spikes some. So we discovered a bread because we were really craving the breads, and we found the recipe that you can find anywhere on the internet. There's lots of them for cloud bread, and basically you separate your egg whites and your egg yolks. You whip your egg whites with the recipe we uses a tiny bit of baking powder, like a fourth of a teaspoon for 3 egg whites, and then you take your egg yolks and you stir in cream cheese and some little bit of sea salt. And some of the recipes call for sugar. We don't know why, because you don't really need it.
I can't wait to taste this.
And then you line parchment paper and put these in blobs and flatten them out, almost like you're thinking of meringue. Well, okay, you have your whipped, you have your other, and you fold them together. And then trying not to break the air in it, you put them on these patties. And I usually cook 6 to 8 at a time on a big cookie sheet. You bake them, you take them out, and you let them cool. And then the secret with cloud bread is to get it more of a bread texture, is to put it in a plastic bag once it's cool and save it for 5 hours or overnight.
So we need to
It
make it
gives
today.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that today. And that'll make it a little bit more chewy. We love it because instead of just having to have lettuce wrapping a hamburger, you can actually build a hamburger or a
nice.
yummy steak, whatever sandwich, or, you know, and you can have bread for it.
How wonderful.
And, you know, we've also used the same thing to make pizza crust and have pizza to where it's more like a pizza. And so it's given us the freedom of feeling not deprived and having stuff that's good.
Okay, so we'll
come back to
show
that
making
later.
that recipe, not on this video, but on another video that we do so that you can have that recipe. We also are going to make some whole wheat rolls for the traditionalists that are in the family, so that we have that.
And then we're just having some
Green
good,
beans.
some fresh green, long green beans, buttered and
no onion,
buttered and
crunchies
sea
on
salt.
them.
And yum. It's good.
Yeah.
Forget all this casserole stuff. Just eat the real thing. And then baked yams, which we love to just tender baked and then just mash
And
them with
that
cinnamon.
he doesn't react to that sugar in those.
It
potatoes.
is a carb, and so that has to usually be the only carb. On Thanksgiving, there's going to be several things, and so we were already talking. You could have a little bit of
Little
this
bit
and
of
a little
this.
bit of this,
Okay.
and a lot of it of protein, so it doesn't spike so bad.
Okay. And then I love the fruit salad that she's choosing to do. You know, you always have all the fruit. When we were growing up as kids, we had
Canned
all this fruit and canned fruit.
And
actually.
marshmallows.
And marshmallows and mixed in whipped cream. We're not having that.
Well, one of our treats at home is to take whipping cream, heavy whipping cream, and to whip it and then fold berries into it.
No sugar.
So, yeah, if it needs a tiny bit of sweetener, I'll use either the
Honey.
liquid organic stevia or some of I've used the coconut sugar. Just a hint.
Yeah.
Just a hint.
I put like a
But
tablespoon sometimes.
if you use some of the sweeter fresh berries, we don't even do that.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're actually using some frozen mixed berries and thawing them where they'll be all nice and weepy and wet, and then we'll fold the whipped cream into it and have that be our fruit
I brought
salad.
some of my blackberries to add to it
Ooh,
from
yummy.
our homestead.
So, yeah.
And then you're making a Waldorf salad, which I haven't had in years. So.
Yeah, I made it a few years ago and it was a hit with the adults, so we're gonna try it.
Okay. And then are we having tossed green salad?
Hopefully.
We might have tossed green salad.
We need more that's not high carb.
We do. We do. We need to force ourselves to eat a big salad. So, and then mixed nuts. I know we brought a big thing of almonds.
Well, at Thanksgiving we usually that's when we buy the shelled nuts. I mean the ones in the shell, so you can sit and crack them and eat them and nibble on them before Thanksgiving dinner. So it's healthy. So we're having all the varieties of pickles and olives. I chose not to have sweet ones this year. Everything I have,
I don't like
I have dill gherkins instead of sweet gherkins. I have, a lot of the specialty olives and
And
pickles.
if I had my fermented stuff, then we would have fermented
That would be
ones, which would be so much better for
And we
us.
are going to throw in some pickled beets because I have a daughter that loves those.
I love those.
And it's fun to do your deviled eggs and make them pink with that. But
Okay, so she's making deviled eggs, but not with mayonnaise. She's making it with mashed avocado. I can't wait.
it's good.
I can't wait.
It's a healthy version and it keeps the carbs low and all the bad oils away. So that's my thing. And then we're just going to cut up different cheeses. I have mozzarella, Munster, and what's the one with pepper jack or something. They're all the white cheeses. We're just going to make little cubes on toothpaste.
Okay.
Toothpicks.
Toothpicks.
So that because we usually have like chips and pretzels and all these things before, and all of those would drive the blood sugars up. So we're going to have all the pickles and olives and cheese and stuff out and nuts for.
And you have to watch the
lunches.
pickles for the sugar too.
Well,
you really have to do that.
There's usually like one pickle per carb.
Okay.
So yeah.
Then the desserts.
And desserts.
So we have figured out some fun desserts to have that don't have any carbs in them.
Or if they
as
are,
in-
they're at least natural
So
foods
we're
without
actually
the bad
making
stuff.
a coconut cream pie. It's in a 9x13 pan. And it has a nut crust.
And is that the one that we actually are using the almond flour to make?
Yes.
Okay, so it
Almond-
uses
almond meal.
Yeah, and say some of our pies do have an actual nut crust, but this one has almond meal to make a pie crust.
Right.
And then you pat it in,
Right.
and it looks.
And you use
lush.
coconut milk and coconut cream and
And we'll be making
unflavored
that today,
coconut.
so it can
Yeah.
tuck away in the fridge.
Yeah. So, and then you made a pumpkin pie.
I made a pumpkin pie and I used my favorite normal recipe. It took a lot longer to cook, but it does look like it worked and it tastes okay when Take it. So and then we'll put the heavy whipping cream on that with a little bit, just a
Yeah,
hint of
and
sweetness.
See, when we lived in Germany, their whipping cream, they don't have sugar in it, so I got used to that a long time ago. I don't like it with sugar.
Well, with my pumpkin pie, I replaced the sugar with coconut sugar, and I replaced the evaporated milk with coconut milk, because that has such a smaller amount of carbs. You can do 1/3 of a cup for a carb instead
So good
of,
to know.
you know.
So we're going to learn a wealth of information from her on how to reduce the carbs. You still need to have a balance of your carbs, and that's really important to me. Unless you're extreme diabetic like her husband is, and then you really have to watch, and she's going to teach us how to do that. So that's great. I think we're about to the end of that.
Yeah, and the only other thing is our dates. We're gonna
go on a date.
We didn't find them at some of the stores we've been to, so we're actually gonna go back to our
health food store.
But you want just a regular dry date. Usually you can buy them a bag or box, and they don't have sugar on them, and they're not cut up. They're just the date, and you stuff them with whole almonds or
you take
walnuts.
The walnut out.
Yeah, they're pitted.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You
just take them out and put that in there, and then if you cut them in half, they're the size of a candy. You put them in a little candy dish, and you have these delicious things. Because
and you
some
actually
people
can roll them in really finely unsweetened coconut also.
And so, you know, to me, a date is almost too sweet, but that's why this year I think I'll cut it in half and stuff a whole nut in it, because that'll be about the right sweet.
That's great.
Because sweet is not my thing anymore.
All right, so
We're excited.
we will film how to make some of this, and that will be in tomorrow's video. Thank you.